Hi, friend, and welcome to Tidy the Clutter podcast. I'm Mariah, and I'm so glad you're here. This is the place where we talk about real-life ways to simplify your home and digital spaces. Let's face it, life gets busy real quick. Between work, kids, emails, and everything else on your plate, it's easy to feel like things are slipping through the cracks. The good news, it doesn't have to stay that way. In each episode, I'll be sharing practical tips, small wins, and simple strategies to help you clear the clutter, both in your physical and digital spaces. You can feel more in control and have more time for what truly matters most to you. Whether it's setting up routines that stick, taming your inbox, or tackling toy chaos, my goal is to make getting organized doable, even on your busiest days. So, grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's get started. You clean the kitchen, and within minutes, someone's left a pile of mail on the counter. The toys magically reappear like they are plotting against you. If keeping your home organized feels kind of like trying to hold back the tide with a broom, you are not alone. And today we are tackling why this keeps happening and how to actually make organization stick. I was literally just experiencing this the other day. I looked around my house and I thought, didn't I just organize that space? Like, what happened? Maybe you are there right now, picking up toys for the third time today, or staring at that pile of paper that somehow multiplied overnight. This constant cycle of organizing and reorganizing, it's exhausting. It is so exhausting. And if you caught episode 3, where we introduced the 10-minute tidy, you can actually find that episode and all the resources that I'm going to be mentioning today inside the show notes at tidytheclutter.com/022. Anywho, I'm all about finding solutions that actually work in real life, not just in theory, right? There are so many solutions that work in theory, but absolutely do not work in real life, or that they just haven't worked for me. So here's what usually happens. We get inspired, maybe after watching an organizing show or just hitting our limit with the clutter in a certain area of our house. We spend an entire Saturday organizing a space and it looks amazing. Like, it looks awesome. But then real life happens. Work deadlines, sick kids, soccer practice, Super Bowl parties. And before you know it, we're right back to where we started. Let's talk about why this keeps happening, and more importantly, how we can fix it and ideally stay on top of it. You know that feeling when you look at the organizing inspiration and you think you need to tackle everything at once? I've been there, my friend. We get so excited about the possibility of a perfectly organized home that we try and change everything all at one time. But here's the thing. Trying to maintain multiple new systems at once is kind of like trying to create a new recipe. You master the basic ingredients first before adding all the fancy flavors and spices. And can we talk about this idea that we need elaborate systems or expensive containers to be organized? I fell into this trap early on, thinking I needed to go to the container store and buy all the matching containers so my house can look Pinterest perfect. But you know what I learned? The best system is the one you'll actually use. So in our home, we have a simple hook system by the door for backpacks and the girls' coats. Nothing super fancy, but it works because it's super easy for the kids to use and it makes sense for our daily routine. And here's another myth that trips us up, thinking organization is a one and done project. We treat it like a weekend makeover show. But in reality, organization is more like tending a garden. A little regular attention keeps everything flourishing. And the best part, when you build these small, sustainable habits into your existing routine, maintaining organization actually becomes, I am going to say it, enjoyable. Okay. You get to experience that peaceful, organized feeling every single day instead of just once in a while. Do you ever feel like you are constantly tidying up, but the mess comes back like it kind of has a mind of its own? You want to be organized, but no matter how many times you start fresh, it never seems to stick. If that sounds familiar, stick with me because I'm going to share a couple things that I've discovered that have completely changed my approach to organization. It's a simple method that just takes 10 minutes of your day. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, yay. Another organizing system. Okay. But I really feel like this is different. This is about working with your real life and not against it. So remember that 10-minute tidy I mentioned in episode 3? We're going to be building on that foundation today and take it even a step further. Here's exactly how it works. You choose one area that's completely driving you crazy. You set a timer for 10 minutes and focus solely on that area. When the timer goes off, you're done. Allow yourself to be done. And that's it. No perfectionism, no overflow into other areas. This works because it's focused and achievable even on your busiest days. Now let's talk about building those lasting habits. Instead of trying to change everything all at once, I want you to think about the one thing type of strategy. It's exactly what it sounds like. Picking one organizing habit to focus on and practicing it for 2 weeks straight. Only once that first habit feels as natural as brewing your morning coffee or heating up the kettle for your hot chocolate, do you add another one. So once it becomes a natural routine and habit, then add another one. Let me share a real example from our home. We started with something super simple. Shoes in the basket by the door. Just that one thing. Once that became second nature, and believe me, it took some gentle reminding at first, and every once in a while, it's like, hey, where do your shoes go? The girls get so bugged. But now it's more consistent. Then we added backpacks on hooks. So we added the hooks to the back, so that way the girls can just hang up their backpacks. Now my kids automatically know where to find their shoes and their backpacks or even their coats are right there. They know that's where they are. So now there's no more morning scramble looking for lost shoes or where's my backpack? It's right there and they know it. When it comes to getting the kids involved, it's really about making it age appropriate. So for the little ones, ages, let's say 2 to 7, maybe, turn it into a game. My youngest loves competing to see who can put away the most toys before what is that song? Now it's slipped my mind. Before the cleanup song. I don't remember the exact name, but before the cleanup song is over, she likes to see how much she can get done. It also helps when the storage units are at their height level, so they can really reach everything easily. And if you want, you can add some super simple labels onto cubbies or storage spaces that they can read and they know, oh, all my cars go here. That can be super helpful. Now for older kids, I'm going to go ages 8 and up. It's about giving them ownership. So let them help design their organization system. And trust me, they are more likely to maintain something that they have helped create. Work with them to develop morning and afternoon routines that they can manage independently. And it's amazing how proud they feel when they can maintain their own spaces. And here's a game changer that really builds perfectly on what we discussed in episode 3, habit stacking. So it's kind of like a technique. And as I mentioned before, you can catch episode 3 in the show notes at tidytheclutter.com/022. But instead of trying to create entirely new routines, we're going to kind of piggyback off of habits that you already have. While you're making your morning coffee or your hot chocolate, use that time for a quick kitchen reset. When the kids are doing homework, sort through any papers that have accumulated on your counters. Before starting your bedtime routine, do a 15-minute family reset, like we talked about in episode 10. Just by doing these small things, you can see how extra time is going to be added to your day. We're just using the time we already have to be more strategic, because you don't need more bins or better labels or the perfect system to finally get organized. The real reason organization doesn't stick, it has nothing to do with your stuff and everything to do with the habits behind it. This is exactly why focusing on sustainable habits makes all the difference. When organizing becomes part of your daily life instead of another task on your to-do list, that's when the real magic happens. Magic! I want you to remember something super important. You're not aiming for an Instagram perfect space. If you are, great. More power to you. But if you're just starting out, don't aim for the Instagram perfect spaces. You're creating systems that are going to work for your real life, for your kids, and for the messes that you see on a day-to-day basis. Start with that one habit, master it, and build from there. And speaking of real life solutions, next week's episode is going to be a game changer, I think. We're going to be diving into how to set up spaces that really work for everyone in your family. And I'm going to be sharing real solutions that grow with your family and encourage independence. Because let's face it, we all want our kids to learn these skills while they're young. Make sure to grab all of today's resources and previous episodes I've mentioned in today's show notes at tidytheclutter.com/022. And while you're there, jump on to our newsletter so you can be reminded of new episodes that are coming out each week, because you won't want to miss the upcoming ones. I will chat with you later, my friends. Thank you for joining me. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Tidy the Clutter podcast. I hope you're leaving today with at least one small step that you're excited to take. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about finding what works for you and building on it little by little. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love it if you'd give the podcast a follow and leave a quick review. It really helps others find the show and join us on this journey toward less stress and more ease. And if you're looking for more tips, resources, or just a bit of extra motivation, head over to tidytheclutter.com, and everything you need to stay organized and feel more in control is waiting for you there. Until next time, keep things simple, stay focused, and enjoy those small wins along the way. Take care and talk soon.